Hello and welcome to the Retro Rallycross studio in an episode that we are calling From Hot Rods to Rallycross. We enjoyed a close association in the early days, with challenges taking place in a number of Hot Rods versus Rallycross battles, events that I remember very well, and we really did have lots of fun. In order to celebrate those two disciplines this evening, we have a couple of special guests joining us to talk about their crossover from Hot Rods to Rallycross. It's time to introduce our first guest to you, as I welcome multiple World Hot Rod Champion and the current Retro Rallycross Champion, Lee Wood, to the studio. Hello, Lee.
Evening, guys. Hope you're okay.
Yeah, we're all good. Thank you very much. Welcome to the studio. We're really happy to have you with us. I obviously know about your Retro Rallycross history thus far because you've had your first full season with us, but I know very little about your hot rod career. So I'd like to begin by asking you about your time spent in hot rod racing. Is that actually where your motorsport career started?
No, not really. I started I'd done some karting when I was young. I'd done a lot of motorbike racing, so sort of 125, 250, and then spent a long time sort of doing the R6 Cup and some 600s, and then had lots of crashes and damaged myself and broke myself various times. So I gave that up really and went on to four wheels and started with hot rods. My dad used to take me to the hot rod meetings, and we followed the cars and the stars and my heroes at the time, and from then it was always going to be hot rod racing for me.
Well, and looking at those images that have just been on screen, you certainly drove some fabulous cars, and 333, I noticed that was on there, and that is the number that you also use in Retro Rallycross. When you first joined us with your Mark II Escort, I think you once told me that had been your hot rod car, but I'm wondering what inspired you to use the ex-John Welsh livery?
Well, it's very hard to ever impersonate or try and replicate some of your heroes. So when you put a livery onto a car that you're going to race, you do end up putting some pressure on yourself, because there is an expectation of what you should be like and what you should drive like, and there are certain expectations. So it is quite a challenging task to try and do that, because you don't ever want to be the person that sort of fails and doesn't succeed really. So the John Welch one was a fantastic livery for me, and John is an amazing person. So to put that onto my Escort and to do well in it was an amazing task for me really, and an honour to win it with that livery.
Yeah, well, I mean, you certainly were very successful. You came out at Liddon Hill in Easter 2023 to start your first full season. You won rounds 1 and rounds 2 that weekend, and then you set the precedence then for how you were going to continue for the rest of the season, which nobody could argue the fact that you absolutely dominated throughout. So, well done. You're planning to rejoin the series in a new car next season, I believe. Are you able to tell us about this new car, or is it still under wraps until you first appear with it?
Yeah, I can tell you. To build a car and to bring the car out takes time, especially if it's a brand new car. For me, it's all about putting a show on. It's for the fans, the spectators, all the people that come to watch and pay money to come through the gate. It's really important that you've got to put a show on, and they have something to remember on the way out. So I'm building a 6R4, but that will fit the super retro classification and the specifications. So it's another shape, it's another car, it's something different. I have no idea how quite it's going to go yet, but we'll find out sort of soon. But it's something different, and it adds a bit of flavour and some variety to what we've already got.
Yeah, it certainly does. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Well, congratulations on a job well done, Lee. Worthy champion. I think you've got the trophy there with you, haven't you?
Yep, it's right here next to me. It's just there.
That's it, folks. That is the John Button Memorial Trophy. Absolutely fabulous trophy. It was endorsed by Jenson Button in the memory of his late father, John Button, who raced in Rallycross in the most famous Beetle, the Colorado Beetle. And yeah, it was good to get your name on it, wasn't it?
Fantastic. It was an achievement to win it, and it's lovely to have the trophy here next to me now. Although I've got to give it back.
Oh yeah, I'm afraid you have. Yeah, I'm going to be taking it off you in November at Lytton Hill.
I know.
You're most definitely a popular and a very worthy Super Retro Rallycross champion, Lee, and we all look forward to seeing you out again next season.
Thank you very much.
Now, please stay with us, Lee, as we introduce our second guest. Now, our second guest this evening actually needs very little introduction. We're going to be chatting now to a very good friend of mine, who is yet another multiple world hot rod champion, Mr. 351, Barry Lee. Hello, Barry.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Barry. How are you?
I'm very well, and it's lovely to be on your show representing the hot rods and also the Rallycross boys.
Yeah, well, it's good to have you here. It's good to actually see you. We talk on the telephone, but haven't seen you for 2 or 3 years. Now, we've got Lee Wood in the studio, who, as you already know, is also a multiple world hot rod champion. But unlike Lee Wood, you made your transition between hot rods to Rallycross in the opposite direction, because you tried your hand at Rallycross first. But your motorsport journey didn't actually start there, did it?
No, it started actually on the back of a horse, and that's where I learned the art of balance. And then I went on to Speedway, which taught me the art of throttle control and to look for where the grip is in the circuit. Don't spin the wheels too much, because remember, when your wheels are spinning, your momentum is nil. You don't move forward. And then I went on to, as I say, Rallycross for Ford, because Roger Clark and myself were both rallying for Ford then, and they decided to take Roger into the rally stages and being the works rally driver. And they said, Barry, will you carry on doing the Rallycross and the development on the Rallycross cars for us? And basically that's what I did, and Ford stayed with me even when I went into hot rodding. And they gave me the most famous registration number of all, which is XTW 368F, which was the first ever Mark 1 Escort. And basically that car finished its days with me. I think when we were racing it at Boreham and doing all the test and development work on that particular car, it had about 9 body shells on it. And when I got it and I hot rodded it and raced it in all different forms of motorsport, it had 3 more body shells on it till I finally wrote it off, gave the number up, somebody's bought the number and put it on a Mark II Escort now.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. Whoa, what a story. That's fantastic. Yes, but you have, as you say, you've raced in various cars, and that is a fabulous story about that one. Your television career also involved, lots of publicity for you, where you appeared on Top Gear. Also, you appeared with Annika Rice, where again a Ford Escort was prominent.
Yes, very much so. But Annika Rice appeared with Barry Lee. So let's get that one right. And as Lee, the Rallycross man that spoke first of all with us, we are both showmen. And this is what's lacking in the sport today. When I won my first world championship in a hot rod, we had a gold roof. So I had a pair of gold overalls made in gold lame, would you believe? The second year, I won the World National Hot Rod Championship for the second time. So I still kept the gold lame suit. The third year, I lost it because I got a puncture. So what happened then? I thought, okay, let's go in black. So I went in black with flared arches and rhinestones all over me, because that's when the old Rhinestone Cowboy record came out. And that's it. So I was in a special Nomex suit, but it looked like a suit for television with the flared bottoms and everything else. When I went for the third world championship, I lost again. Went for the fourth one, and I won it. But what really annoyed the spectators, half of them loved it and half of them hated it, because when I went into the championship, I kept my gold suit on, put my black suit on because I wasn't a champion then, and also they painted the roof silver because I was top of the points, but underneath the silver was the gold roof. When I went over the line and won the championship for the third time, I got out the car, crowd started to clap, I took off my black suit and there's my gold overalls on. The mechanics rushed out and rubbed the roof, took all the paint off the roof, and there's the gold on the roof. Half the crowd loved it, half the crowd wanted to kill me for it. But that's entertainment, and that's what Lee was saying. We lack that in sport nowadays.
You know, you're absolutely right. We need a figure like you were in hot rods, like Martin Shanker was to Rallycross.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we need more to show. We absolutely, definitely do. You're quite right. That there isn't
But then
anybody who
again,
really starts in Rallycross that does that, to be honest.
not at the moment, but cars nowadays are so expensive. Oh, look, you're showing the car now with my big hair and my fur coat on and God knows what. That's when I crashed in the RAC rally lying fourth. And I was driving for David Sutton then, that was building the works cars for Ford. And basically City was saying that but Roger Clark and Barry Lee, they're the only two English drivers that can take it to the Swedes. Or as I used to call them, the Swedes. They were bloody turnips rather than Swedes, but they were very, very good. Your Mikolas, your Hanu, your Marco Allens and all that lot. But once again, you know, it's sport. But in Rallycross, Lee actually won first in his Escort in Rallycross, and the second place man in a Porsche, okay, was second, and his name was Barry. So first was Lee, second was Barry. So Barry Lee, once again, without even being there and spending a penny of his own money, is mentioned in Rallycross results.
Well, there you go. We can't get rid of you, can we, Nate?
Afraid not.
Well, listen, you take it from me. I don't want to.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you've got so many stories to tell. I know from us talking over the years.
Yeah, but Rallycross was very good, as I say, in hot rod. I think even today, the hot rodding teaches you so much of the skill to be able to commit yourself to a corner and slide the car sideways around the corner, right up to the fence, which 9 times out of 10 is a hawser fence. So if you touch it, it grabs you in and it will totally write your car off. So you've got to be good and you've got to know what you're doing in the car. Rallycross is exactly the same, but if you come from hot rods into Rallycross, you've got a very, very good starting point because you're used to driving very close. You're used to having a little bit of a push now and again to make yourself go forward, and that's it. But please remember, in Rallycross, it's very, very important to build your car so you can get off the start line in the lead. Because when you're in an Escort, it's rear-wheel drive, front engine, and a 5-speed gearbox. Now, I always used to build my cars with a very soft rear suspension. So when it went off the start line, I used to put my foot on my left foot still on the clutch, but bent over onto the brake as well. And then I'd let the clutch up a little bit and a lot of throttle. And so that would push the back of the car down because it was trying to go forward. Okay. But I held it back with the brake, with my left foot also on the clutch and the brake. As soon as the lights went to green or they dropped the flag, I let the clutch up and I was away because all the weight was then transferred to the rear of the car when it was standing stationary. But the problem with that is if you don't make the first corner first, when you're hitting the bumps and trying to go, the car will leap up and down all over the circuit. That's where Murray Walker nicknamed me Leapy Lee. And that's when it first came out, because when I was rallycrossing, especially at Lyddon, I'd hit the bumps and the car would bounce up and down, up and down. And he said, here comes Leapy Lee, leaping about all over the circuit. So that's where the name Leapy Lee came from.
Ah, I did wonder. Right. So I hope everybody was listening to that. Barry's just given you a lesson on how to drive a rallycross car.
Not at all.
Oh, now looking at this image that's on now, or it's gone again. I remember you telling me, you'd spent time with royalty. Tell us about that evening. It's been so exciting.
Well, they were, but I think the best one I've ever had was when I was with Lady Di. That was fantastic. I was with the Tolman team then, and I was introduced to Lady Di, and then we went, after we finished, I met up with her, and we just had a little quiet natter while she was walking back to the car. That would always stay in my memory forever and ever, amen. Like many of the other things. The gentleman you saw there, who was that now? I can't think.
Prince Michael of Kent.
Prince Michael, that's right. Yeah, of Kent,
must have been something
that's right.
to do with Motorsport UK, is it? RAC, as it was then?
Yes, it was. Once again, they're all lovely, lovely people. They're all very talkable. No, don't talk down to people or anything like that at all. We need these people. We really, really do. But as I say, and as Lee was saying, there are the superstar drivers, but there aren't the people that keep their sponsors happy. And that's what you've got to think of. When you've got a sponsor, Lee's like nodding in agreement with me. When you've got a sponsor, you've got to try and look after them. So when you get out the car, don't just talk about yourself. Thank the sponsors, thank the team, thank the crowd. Without you crowds paying your money to come in, you haven't got Barry Lees and you haven't got Lee Brooks or anybody else. Lee Wood. Oh my, yes, okay. Yes, that was my father's garage. That was why did you have to show it? That is Annika.
We don't need to see that one.
That's Nicola, and she's got my gold overalls on, and as you can see me behind, she had nicked them off of me, and so I had the raving hump. But once again, that was the famous XTW 368 Mark 1 Escort. But,
that was
yes, it was. But, talking about ladies and everything else, in Driving Force, which I won with Annika Rice, she was a lady that really listened. And the reason we won that, we worked on the escort car as well, because we had to race an escort car. Then I'd get out of it and she'd jump in and she'd race it around the same bit of circuit. We had to race a tank. We had to dig a hole with a JCB and then fill the hole back in. So one would dig it, jump out, and then the other person would jump in, dig and fill the hole back in. That's what we had to do over about 3 days, I think it was. And it was fun. Everybody was there. There was Murray Walker was there. Lots of the celebrities, Derek Warwick, all those people with superstar racing drivers, mainly World Championship racing drivers. And it was great. And remember, when Annika Rice was there, and she used to do her thing in the helicopter with a leather suit on and everything else, that was long before the Kardashians were even born. I'll leave the rest to you.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, Barry, you've been so entertaining. You've been an absolute joy. And Lee Wood, you've got some big boots to fill here, to follow this guy. You've still got it all to do yet.
Now Barry's told how everyone to start off the line. That's ruined that bit now. So.
Right. So, one thing I want to do is to mention your book. You wrote a biography, Barry. Do you have a copy of that with you?
There it is. Look.
Right. Okay.
Barry, the other side of winning.
Tell them a story about that one.
The other side of winning. Right. Okay. Well, if that is Barry's biography, the other side of winning. If you go on to barrylee.co.uk, you'll find a link on there to buy the book. Barry very kindly gave me a copy many years ago, and I can tell you it is well worth a read. So have a look at that, guys. Have a look at barrylee.co.uk and get yourself a copy of that book. I don't think you'll regret it. Oh yeah,
Lee,
go
what
on.
I'd like to ask you, how about setting up a challenge? Because you're a multi-world champion in the hot rod scene, not the nationals, but still in the hot rods. So you find me a hot rod as well, and let's go and do a race in that, you and me against each other, when there's a meeting on, so we can get some publicity, okay? And then we'll do the same with the retro rallycrosses. Find me a car, and I'll okay, and we'll do the same there. But no cheating, because I'll drive your car, okay? And then you can drive whichever one you found for me. So we'll set
Well,
that up and we'll... Go on.
I've got you a cadet already. That's ready to go.
Yeah. Is that my old cadet?
Well, it is your old one, because that's in pieces. But this is as good as it's going to get. But this has got a crossflow in it, not an old Opel engine.
Great. Shirley, set this up. We call it
Yeah,
whatever you
let's
want to
do it.
call it. And let's get some sponsorship. Let's get some money together and pay it to somebody.
Yep, let's do it like that. That's absolutely fabulous. Well,
Thank you.
I think it's time for wrapping up the guests now. Thank you so much, Barry, for joining us. It's always a pleasure, as you know, and also to Lee. Will you be racing at Pembrey, Lee?
No, I'm going to concentrate. I've got a new national that's built, which I'm going to start in November, but I've got to finish the 6R4. So as soon as the 6R4 is finished, which hopefully be the end of the year, we'll be out in that as well.
We'll see you at Easter at Lyddon then. Right, Barry, you've set me a challenge. I'm definitely up for that. Thank you both for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. And what I'm going to do now is introduce Steve Nottage, our driver's liaison officer, to you. We're going to hand over to Steve, and he's going to bring you up to date with the points in time for our next championship round, which is next weekend at Pembrey Race Circuit. The director has actually just told me that he's having difficulty in opening the link and being able to bring Steve into the studio this evening. So I'll actually give you the points myself now for the championship positions. We'll begin with the Retro Rallycross Championship, where, as you can see on screen, Dan Swayland is ahead in the Retro Rallycross Championship on 73 points. Simon Hart is behind with 62, followed by Tony Lynch and Rob Buckmaster, who is they're joint. They have joint points, and both of those, all four of those are going to be racing with us at Pembrey. We're still waiting on Terry Moore, who tells us that he has a little bit of a technical issue at the moment, but hopefully he can get that sorted. Still plenty to play for, as you can see, as we head into round 6 and 7, which will be at Pembrey Race Circuit on the 5th and 6th of October. Moving on to the Super Retro Championship, Charlie French is leading that at the moment, 92. He has quite a good lead over Pat Doran, but don't underestimate our Pat. He'll be having a good go at Pembrey next weekend. Alan Tapscott, 64 points, followed by Stuart Emery on 47, and John Cross on 42, and Barry Stewart, Mr. Porsche, has 41 points. I won't take you through the rest of the table. You can see that clearly there. You can see in position number 14 Lee Wood, who we've been talking to earlier this evening. He joined us in a car that he loaned for one of the rounds and scored just 5 points. But as he said, he won't be joining us again now until next season. So that brings you up to date, really. We look forward to being able to seeing you again once we've had the round 6 and 7 at Pembury Race Circuit. In the meantime, you can like, follow and subscribe to our channel. And I think that's all we've got for you this evening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.